Yo, Darious Britt here, and today is all about the 5 qualities of a good filmmaker. So making a film is tough enough as it is, and making a good film is even tougher. Good filmmakers tend to make good films, and here are the common qualities that good filmmakers tend to have. So in my experience, the biggest thing that separates filmmakers that make exceptional work from those that make mediocre or average work is how critical they are of their work. The filmmaker who is relentlessly scrutinizing their work and constantly asking the question, is this good enough? Constantly looking for feedback and ways to improve is going to make far better work than the person who is not as critical of their work. Being critical of your work sometimes means cutting that scene that you love so much because it is slowing the pacing of your film down, or showing your movie to one more person for feedback even though you are sick to death of editing your film. Being critical of your work means rewriting your script for the 12th time even though you are sick and tired of rewriting it because you have found one more way to make it even better. The one downside of being hypercritical about your work is that you are never really satisfied with your work. When you watch most behind the scenes or interviews by, filmmakers whom most of us would agree are fairly successful or, legendary in some instances, a common trend is they tend not to be happy with their work. They tend to say, well, if I could do things a little differently, or if I could go back and redo it, I would have done this, or I would have done that. It's a sign of a good filmmaker. You are not satisfied. You're always looking for more. You're always looking for ways to be better. Work that everybody else hails to be just remarkable, you tend to look at and be like, I want to do it again. Every time I make a film, I constantly remind myself of this. If you are not critical of your work, someone else will be, and they won't be as nice about it. You need to have a good filter. When you set out to make a film, everyone has a vision of the film that they want to make, and that vision is bombarded by other people's questions, suggestions, and opinions. Having a good filter means being able to recognize and listen to the suggestions that will help you tell the story that you're trying to tell, and knowing when and how to disregard the suggestions that are not. This comes with experience. When you're a new filmmaker, you tend to listen to everybody who will talk to you because you just want to soak up knowledge and learn everything that you can, and you start listening to all your mentors, and sometimes they may suggest things to you that actually hurt your film. It seems like everyone around you has a suggestion about what they think that you should do that will help your film be better, and it is so easy to get caught up in appeasing others that you lose sight of your own vision. You've absolutely got to be confident in the story that you are trying to tell, because that will help you recognize the suggestions that will help you and the suggestions that won't. Having good communication skills are essential. It's hard to communicate and tell people what you want and what you're looking for if you don't have the vocabulary to articulate it. You need to have a good idea of what your crew members do and how they do it. This means having at least a little bit of knowledge of every job. The more you know, the better. If you've got a lot of experience from set and you can actually do every job, then great, you'll have no problem articulating what you're looking for. Good filmmakers tend to be really good collaborators. Filmmaking is a team sport. Everyone is working together to make the same movie, usually. You can't know everything and you can't do everything. That said, trust your crew. Let them do what you hired them to do. Listen to them. When they come to you with suggestions, be open to them. It is in your crew's best interest to help you make the best film possible because it's going to make them look good. They tend to know what they're talking about in their respective departments, and some of their suggestions might just save your ass. Being a director or being a filmmaker is not about being a rock star and calling the shots and telling people what to do. It's about making the best film possible. The second you lose sight of that and you get caught up in ego and what I say goes, I'm the head honcho, I'm the boss, that's when the film suffers. I will take a suggestion from an extra, I'll take a suggestion from a grip, I'll take a suggestion from a random person walking by who happens to say something that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, because again, it's about making the best film possible. I will listen to anybody if they make a good point. You mess around with storytelling long enough and you will quickly realize that you are more than capable of making mistakes and you can't see everything. You're only human, you're fallible. So being open to other people's opinions and perspectives is not a sign of weakness, it's actually really, really smart. I'm not saying you have to take every suggestion thrown to you. I'm just saying keep an open mind and remember that it's about making the best film possible. If you want to be good, you've got to be driven. There are so many skills to learn in filmmaking that if you think about it too long, it will make your head explode. If you want to be an independent filmmaker, which is, you've got to make a product and get it out into the world to show people that you're marketable and that you actually know how to tell a story. When you're first starting out, you've got to establish yourself, and usually that means you've got to do a lot with a little, which means you do a project for dirt cheap. And the only way it can be that cheap is if you do almost everything yourself. If you want good acting in your films, you've got to understand a little bit of acting. If you want a great looking film, you need to understand cinematography. If you want a film that's edited and cut together well with a good pace, you need to understand editing. You want a film with a professional polish, you need to understand color correction. If you want to be able to manipulate a lot of things in post-production for later on, you need to understand After Effects. If you want to get into special effects and all that, then you need to understand 3D software. You want great sound in your film, you need to understand how sound is recorded, and you need to understand the whole post-production process of sound, of how to get Foley, how to get ADR. There are so many skill sets to learn, it's ridiculous. But you've got to be competent in almost all of these areas, because either one, you may be having to do all of these things yourself when you're starting out, or two, if you're fortunate enough to have money to hire people to do these things for you, you at least want to have a good understanding of how they do their jobs in order to tell them what to do and what you're looking for. Because if you have no clue how they do what they do, then you're completely at their mercy, and that is not a good feeling, to not know how someone does a crucial job and you have no way of directing them to get what you want. You don't even have a common way of talking to them. Filmmaking can be really tough, really stressful, and really freaking frustrating, and you've got to love it even when you hate it. When you're first starting out, you're going to get a lot of rejections, a lot of no's, a lot of people who, when they hear your ideas, they just kind of have a, that's cute, you know, you want to make movies, that's cute. But you have to be able to push past that and say, you know what, I'm taking it seriously, this is what I want to do, I'm gonna jump out there, I'm gonna do it, whether you get it or not. Be prepared for people to just not really accept it well, and sometimes you may find that you're the only one who believes in you, and that's all you really need. Just get out there and make it happen. Do it! Do the damn thing! You don't need anybody's permission. If you need money, then find money. If you can't find money, then you've got to get really resourceful and make it happen for little to no money. But the bottom line is you got to get out there and do it, and don't let anyone or anything stop you. Well, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like or subscribe. If you got any questions for me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook or Twitter. Bam, there's some links, and you can drop some comments down in the comment section below. And yeah, deep it out. Yo, Darious Britt here. Today we're talking about the different types of film directors. Now this is just an observation, this isn't scientifically proven, this isn't a category system recognized by the film industry or anything, but